Hi, friends. In our time together today, I'm revisiting the fingering chart for our D whistles that shows the fingering for all the notes from the bottom D up to the third octave D. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But I said this is we're revisiting. It was about a year and a half ago I originally introduced the fingering chart. I've made a couple of minor updates to it, and I know a little bit more, and so I want to add a little bit more content. So I'm going to put a link at the top of the notes to this video to the page on my website from which you could download the updated version. And I'm going to go back to the original video and make sure that link goes to the updated version. And I'll put a note on that video that says, go watch the new video, because it's important for us to really have an updated sense. And another reason to revisit this is this is a topic that's important for us to understand and revisit, particularly as we get into the alternate fingerings. Now, the reason for two primary reasons for the alternate fingerings. One, you might be playing a tune, and let's think of the C natural as an example. And you hit the C natural, and you're playing a fast run, and your fingers are all fumbly, and there is an alternate fingering that would enable you to play faster. So that's a good reason to be really familiar with these and practice them. And it's always important to practice these things. Another reason is the whistle you have. For my demo today, I'm using the Burke Brass Viper Low D. I could have picked up any of a number of wonderful whistles for the demo today, and they each play a little differently. I'm going to play some of the different fingering options. And sometimes even the focus of our breath and learning that will impact the tone quality. But as you play, you need to find the fingering that plays best in tune, or the couple of fingerings that play best in tune for your whistle. And that's really important, and the alternate fingerings are valuable there. Yeah, that's about it. So let's jump in. And so what I'll do is I'll play a note and just say, these are the holes to cover. So the bottom D, you're covering all the holes. And yes, I use kind of a modified piper's grip, and I use a pretty full piper's grip on the bottom hand because my hand's more comfortable, and it helps me stabilize the whistle with my pinky finger. You'll see that in particular when I'm playing the C sharp. So the low D, all holes covered. E, top 5 holes covered. F sharp, top 4 holes. G, top 3 holes. A, top 2, trying to accentuate my finger movement for you. B, top 1. C sharp, first octave, no holes covered. The second octave, D. I said I was going to do the G sharp, and we're going to get to it. Second octave D is this is the first hole uncovered. So it's holes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and yes, alternate fingering would be to cover all, but we'll get there. Then, and on all the second octave notes, remember all of our conversations about breath pressure, finding the right breath pressure to play each of these notes in tune. You're just increasing it, focusing it a little bit. Second octave E is the same, the top 5 holes covered, as the first octave E, but with that varying breath pressure. Second octave E, same breath pressure comments, top 4 holes covered. Second octave G, same breath pressure comments, top 3 holes covered. Second octave A, first 2 holes covered, same breath pressure comments. Second octave B, same breath pressure comments, 1 hole covered. Now, when you get to the second octave C sharp, one of the really good ways to do that is holes 2, 3, and 4. We'll look at alternates. Third, then we move from there to the third octave D. The third octave D is just like the second octave D with a bit more breath pressure. So that's that. All right, so that was the D scale. Now let's go to the G scale. We're not going to play the whole G scale. I just want to show you the C natural. Because the D scale has 2 sharps, F sharp, C sharp. The G scale has 1 sharp, just the F sharp. So you have to know the C natural. And C natural is one of those that in the first octave, there are variations. I'll get to that after I show you the C natural and the normal and first octave, second octave, and then the G sharp. Then we'll go to some variations. Most people play the first octave C natural with holes 2 and 3 covered. Walking up from the G. Whistles, the airflow, the engineering, all that, just the nature of the beast. There are some alternates as to which fingering to use for your specific whistle. Remember, some of this is whistle dependent. And so you got to figure that out. And it is also good to know because, like I said, if you're doing a run and you want to use an alternate fingering to facilitate faster movement, do that. So that's the first octave C natural, holes 2, 3. Second octave C natural, there's pretty much, there are a couple of ways. I'll show you some alternates, but the main one is to half hole the number 1 hole. And to do that, we've talked half holing before, but to do that, you're just going to listen for when you hit that as you're walking up. You're just going to start lifting that first finger up. But the C natural half hole would be. So. See, you can find it that way. Just slowly pick some of your finger up until you hear the C natural. And like we say with some of these notes, it's halfway between the B and the D. Now on our D whistles, now and then you're going to play a tune that has 3 sharps in it. That would be the F sharp, the C sharp, and the G sharp. And we've talked about that some. And you might hit an accidental of a G sharp on the occasion. And the G sharp is we've talked half holing. You're going to half hole the third hole. So it's holes 1, 2, and half hole 3. See, I missed it a little bit. So you want to find it, remember? Alrighty, so that's the G sharp. Now let me talk about some alternate fingerings briefly. First octave C natural, like I said, a lot of people like holes 2, 3. And this is going to sound possibly funny on some of them on my Burke because this is whistle dependent. And I didn't go through and I didn't want to show you a dozen different whistles to show you how this works on different whistles. You could do that yourself. Just figure it out on your whistle. So holes 2, 3, hole number 2. And I'll, as I add them, I'll show you. So hole number 2. On my Burke, that's a little sharp. And your breath pressure could come into play here. Holes 2, 3. Hole 2. Notice that's a little sharp on the Burke. Could be me not doing that, but another option is holes 2, 3, 4, 6. This is all on the paper. Another option is hole 2, 4, 5, 6. Now, you say they sound pretty similar, but not on every whistle. Now, another option is holes 2, 3, 4. And that's a good one. Another option is just like the second octave to half hole the first hole. So, you'll see that on the chart. Now, the second octave D, you can very easily pick up your top finger, but you might be playing a quick run and you might want to know that you could use all 6 holes cover. You just really have to pay attention to your breath pressure because this is fragile on some whistles. That's the second octave D. Now, options on the second octave C natural. Remember I said half hole. That first hole. Another option is holes 2, 4, 5, 6. Now, you could say, wasn't that one of your options on the first octave C natural? Well, of course, breath pressure, remember? Okay, C natural, second octave, one more option is holes 2, 3, 4, 5. Get that? To me sounded just a smidge sharp, but again, these are whistle dependent. I'm just thinking, I'll have to listen back to this. Did I say C sharp? I hope not. If I did, I'll put a note on the screen when I'm stitching all this together. Now the C sharp, second octave, is nothing covered. So, or holes 4, 5, 6. Oh, sorry. Second octave. Yeah. Okay. Or holes 4, 5. And those are very similar on my Burke. But again, every whistle's different, and you might want to know all these options. So it's really fun. My friends, I hope this is helpful for you. It's important for us to review this. Remember to learn which options work on each of your whistles. And this is again why we have to become so familiar with our whistles. I have printed off the finger chart and I keep it handy and I review it now and then. Like if I'm playing a tune and I'm like sometimes If I'm playing a slower tune, I might use a different fingering on that C natural than when I'm playing a faster tune. But you've got to be familiar with it, and that's why this is so helpful. And in a few days, I actually am going to introduce a few third octave notes, thanks to some of our friends in the community. So I hope this is helpful. Please download the music and tabs for this the fingering chart PDF. It's just really helpful for us. If you like the video, if this is helpful, please like the video. If you're brand new and just checking us out, because I'm providing a free fingering chart, please subscribe and join our great community of folks learning to play the whistle together. Until next time, this is Scott Shade. Happy whistling, friends.